Well, hello there. My name is Rainy, and I am primarily a booktuber, which is why my channel name is Rainy Day Reads. However, this is my first ever Flosstube video. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I have recently gotten into pretty heavily the cross stitch game and the knitting game. So I have been making booktube videos for a little over 2 years now. And in 2020, because we couldn't go anywhere, I started to knit and I started to cross stitch. And recently I was seeing around the interwebs because my booktube friend Sarah from the Bookish Knitter got me into Flosstube videos, and I have recently been seeing this thing called Stitchmania on the Flosstubes. And I don't honestly have a ton of cross stitch patterns. So I thought, I really can't do Stitchmania the way it's supposed to be done. But then I started seeing a bunch of people kind of putting their own spin on it, primarily Stephanie from Lindy Stitches, who is doing a Stitchsania. So I got to thinking to myself, you can participate in this. You can do whatever you want. It's fine. Nobody's going to tell you you're doing it wrong. Oh, well, I mean, maybe somebody could be telling me I'm doing it wrong, but what are they going to do? So I decided I was going to take Stephanie's Stitchsania idea and get together all of the patterns that I do actually own and make some goals for myself. So this first floss tube might be a little bit rambly or not really the way it's supposed to be, but please forgive me. Hopefully I will get better at it. So let's just get into what my plans are going to be for Stitchmania slash Stitchsania. So a little background on me. Like I said, I primarily do booktube videos, and I am a big classics reader. So I have this space here that I use to film my booktube videos. And it's also my office, my library, my general catch-all room for all of my crafty and bookish adventures. So I have these two jewelry cases that actually hang on the wall and had little picture frame dividers in them. But I didn't really utilize those anymore. And I took the dividers out. So it's just a big square canvas now, two of them. So I was looking around on Etsy for a pattern that would be bookish related that I could stitch to fill these two cases that I have. And if I can, I'll try to remember to put a picture of what these cases look like on my wall so you can get an idea. So I hadn't stitched in probably close to 20 years. I think the last time I stitched anything significant was in high school, which I'm gonna be almost 40-ish soon. So it's been a while. So I really had no concept of how long it was going to take me to do a full coverage cross stitch piece. So I went on Etsy and I found Mrs. Pagodi Arts, and I will link that below. And she has a ton of wonderful full coverage cross stitch patterns that are literature related. And they're all just full cross stitch, full crosses. That's the word. I'll get used to this. Full crosses and like seemingly beginner friendly. There's not even any back stitching in at least most of them that I saw. So I was like, I can do this. This will be easy. And if you don't know, on BookTube, there is an event called Victober where we read Victorian literature all month long in October. So one of the hosts of the readathon, Kate Howe, had formed a separate little group that was doing a stitch and listen where we would cross stitch or do a knitting project while we all listened to the same audiobook, preferably a Victorian novel. So I thought this is a good plan for me to start a Victorian literature inspired cross stitch. So all that's to say, sorry, this is rambly. I found an Alice in Wonderland. It's called Alice and the Flamingo by Mrs. Pagodi Arts. And I thought, oh, this is lovely. So I started this on October 1st of 2020. And it is now April 26th of 2021. And this is how far I have gotten. So I will put up what the end product should look like. And yes, there is a ton of extra space, but this is because the cases that I have are bigger than what this is going to be. So I needed to have extra fabric to cover the background. So I am, according to Pattern Keeper, because I've also gotten addicted to that, I am about 25% done. However, the pattern itself is 28 pages. So in order to finish it by this coming October, so that I can start another one to go in the other case that I have, I would need to do roughly 4 pages of the pattern per month. So this is where we get into Stitchmania / Stitchsania. My goal for the month of May is to do 1 full page of this pattern per week, which roughly comes out to about 200 stitches, give or take a few, because I do actually have, some border in those pages done already. So my plan is to do about 200 stitches a day for a completed page of the pattern each week in May. If I accomplish those goals, I will allow myself a new start on the weekend. I think I'm going to go Saturday to Saturday since May starts on a Saturday. So I think I'll go Saturday to Saturday. So I will allow myself a new start, and I can work on that new start throughout the following weeks, but with the caveat of I still have to do 200 stitches a day of Alice. Okay, that is my plan. We'll see how it goes. So let me show you the other patterns that I have pulled out that I want to start on in the month of May. Oh, and I meant to say, because I'm new to this and I'm not good at it, I only use DMC floss, and Alice is done on 14 count Aida that I just got from Michael's because it's the first cross stitch I've done in years. I have only ever stitched on Aida, so I had no idea that there were other options out there. That being said, I'm a little intimidated by other fabrics, but I'm going to give some other fabrics and other counts a shot in the month of May. So since I am doing Lindy Stitch's Stitchsania, I decided that the first project that I get to start if I complete a full pattern of Alice, a full page of Alice in the first week, is Walk Fast by Lindy Stitches. This is a Golden Girls reference, and I just think it is the cutest thing. And it's funny, and like, who doesn't love the Golden Girls, really? And I am going to be doing this on Ada, but I got, sorry for the rustling, I have it in packaging. I am going to be doing it on 18 count Picture This Plus Ada in the color Vellum. I didn't have, or they didn't have, the linen that Lindy Stitches recommends on 123 Stitch, which is where I got this. And I was just a little intimidated to start a big pattern on linen when I've never done linen before. So 18 count, it looks very small, but I've never done anything but 14 count Ada before. So this is already going to be different for me. So it might, I don't know how big that means it's going to come out, but I'm excited to try a smaller count fabric and see. Obviously, I think the coverage is going to be probably better. What you think, you can tell me, because, you know, you guys that do this all the time are going to be better at this than me. For 18 count Ada, should I do 2 strands of floss or only 1 strand of floss? I think I want to do 2 strands, but I don't know if that's going to be too much on 18 count. So let me know. So that's going to be week 1's new start. And then week 2, if I get the second page of Alice done that I want to get done, I am going to allow myself to start a pattern that my friend Tanya from the Sampler Girl sent to me as a gift. And she sent it to me over Thanksgiving of 2020. So this is very 2020 related. So, and it even has 2020 on it. So this is the Thankful Samplery. Samplery? Yeah, Samplery. From the Sampler Girl. And I want to stitch this pretty small and make it a little pillow or an ornament of some sort for my living room for over, you know, the Thanksgiving holiday. My question to you is, should I put 2020 on it even though it's 2021? But I was gifted it in 2020. So should I keep it in the 2020 theme? Let me know. What would you do if you were stitching this pattern after the fact? But this is going to be the first pattern that I try linen on. And Tanya also gifted me, let's see what this is called, Witchelt linen in 30 count, and it's the lamb's wool. So this looks real tiny. So I'm thinking, at first I was like, well, maybe I'll try 1/1, but I don't know about that. I think I'm gonna try what's it called? 1/2? Is that what it's called? Or 2/2? What should I do? Again, tell me, what should I do? This is 30 count Witchelt linen, so y'all that know better than me, tell me what I should do. I kind of want to try 1/1, but that seems real tiny, so I don't know. But I'm excited to start this because I feel like this was a gift from Tanya, so I feel like I need to get her done. And yeah, I love Tanya. She's so sweet. She does Flosstube too. I'm sure you know. It's Tanya. Everyone knows Tanya. So then I only have 1 pattern. I actually have 1 freebie that came with my Lindy Stitches Walk Fast pattern. But I don't know the rules if I'm allowed to show a pattern that is a freebie, but yet I got it when I purchased another pattern. I don't know whether to show it, but it is one that says Weekend Cats. Wait, what's it say? Oh, no. It is one that says Books, Cats, Weekend Bliss on it. Now, I don't have any pets because I have allergies real bad. So I'm thinking, I love wine. So I'm thinking I might rechart it to say books, wine, weekend, bliss, and maybe do it in another piece of linen that I was gifted. Um, but yeah, I don't know yet. But that might be a, a third weekend start depending on how overwhelmed I feel because it's a pretty small pattern. So I feel like I could do that pretty easily. But if I want to start something else, I only have one other like brand new start. And this is the pattern that I bought from Mrs. Pagodi Art that is also literary themed. Oh, please, I should take it out of the Ziploc bag. It is a Jane Eyre pattern. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And I bought all the floss for it, and the colors are so pretty. So this one I'm also going to do on 14 count Aida just to keep it in, you know, continuity with my Alice one. So it's probably going to be pretty big too. I think the pattern said it would be like almost like a 9 by 13 or something like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to start this one, but I'm a little intimidated too because I mean, Alice has taken me almost 6 months at this point, but it's not quite, the Jane Eyre one is not quite as many pages. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the Alice one, so thinking it might not be quite as intimidating, but we'll see. So that's going to be my last new start in the month of May. But the last week of May is going to be updating a pattern that I've already been working on. And that is the Temperature Tree by the Stitchin' Mommy. And I have already been working on this, obviously, all year. But by the end of May, I should have all the temperatures for May, and I can update it. So I will probably, at some point before the end of April, finish the May branch so that I can just work on updating all the temperatures throughout the month, and then at the very end of May, I can update it. And whether I get my 4 pages of Alice done or not, I'm going to update this because, well, that just makes sense. But that will be like my final hurrah of May. And then I probably won't want to do any more stitching for the whole month of June. That's a lie. But I'm probably going to severely limit it. And that is also just on 14 count Aida because I had like a little piece. And as you can tell, I just had a little piece left over from the first piece with my Alice. And as you can tell, I very much miscounted or mismeasured. And I have like no extra room on this piece at all, except for on the bottom. So yeah, this will be interesting to try to frame, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So anyway, that is my plans for May stitching, and I kind of hope to get into this Flosstube thing. Let me know what you think, or if I should change anything, or, you know, what would make these videos better, because this is my first one. I don't know. But yeah, I hope that you are all having a wonderful end to your April. And if you are joining in Stitch Mania or Stitchsania, let me know and lead me to your video so that I can get inspiration and motivation. And yeah, I'm excited to join this party. All right, friends, I will talk to you soon. Bye.